Is anybody there? Nope.
So we have to get up.
Okay. What is your name?
Ooh. Wow.
What is the deal with these swirly things?
His name is 8.
Z O Z O Z O.
Oh my.
Z.
When you're having sex in a dream, it could be two possibilities. One, it's an actual demon that is having sex with you.
And its sacred mysteries. I call you forth on this night to summon a succubus. I ask that
and
you
when
search your...
how to make a deal with a demon. For those desperate enough to trade, power comes at a price. And when no god answers your call, there are others who will. Demons, ancient...
Welcome back to High Frequency Chaos. This episode will be much different. It won't be about the paranormal, but something a bit more deeper. It will be about the spiritual, demonology, the names of these principalities, and their personalities. So I pray in the name of Jesus that you are covered. Alright, let's get diving.
There are several demons that will make themselves appear scarier to the conjurer in order to test them, see if they can really handle it. And I'd be lying if I said that I hadn't nearly failed that test the first time that I worked with Belial. In fact, the first time I worked with Belial, he told me I wasn't ready. He told me to come back at a later time. The novice magician may not be ready to face certain aspects of themselves. Belial is very abrasive. He's very no bullshit. And this can be difficult to deal with if A, you're not really accustomed to working with demons as a whole, and B, if you find shadow work particularly difficult, or you haven't attempted to work on that at all.
What's your name? Tell me your name.
Zed. Would you fuck me?
Say your
Yeah. Would you fuck me?
No, that's what you look like.
Zed. Oh, Zed. Oh shit.
Demon. You're a demon.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it's just starting. I think it's just starting.
Yeah, I did, yeah. How's the world now? Oh shit.
In the slightest, if a Ouija board goes to Z or anything goes to Z and then oh, he's out. Like it's just like every single time. So what is that? People would tell me that Zozo's not real, but then I'm like, okay, if Zozo's not real, then how is everyone getting it on the Ouija board? And you know, why is everyone having these crazy experiences after getting Zozo on the Ouija board? So to me, Zozo is a demon named Zozo and is literally running the Ouija board realm. And so whenever I see Zozo, especially, you know, back when I would play with the Ouija board when I was younger, that was an instantly, you know, say goodbye and close it out, because all of my Ouija board experiences were very, you know, traumatic to me. I don't know. Zozo to me is kind of like another way of like Satan. But like when it was spelling out Zozo to you, nothing attached to you, like nothing crazy happened.
It literally just out of nowhere spelled run. And then I said, that's not real. There's no way. Go Z-O-Z. And then we stopped and pulled it to goodbye. When I said, guys, we need to leave like right now. One of our friends fell to the floor face first.
Oh my
and I was just like, I don't know what to do. Like we tried to pick her up and it was just
provoking every demon within Ouija board to prove demonology is fake.
Soul is freely given.
Excuse me?
Take my soul.
What?
I want you to take my soul. Possess it. I want you to possess me right now. You have permission. A free soul. Right now. Possess me. Zozo. Any other Ouija demons.
Just letting you all know,
So
if you don't
cool.
like this, then please leave the live.
So-called
I'd like
Ouija
Claire to
demons.
come forward.
I want everyone on TikTok right now to see that demonic possession is fake. You're too much of a coward. You think you can possess Chelsea, but the only reason why you can't possess her is because you're fake.
Fighting.
Yeah, I'm fighting you now, aren't I? Whatever you are. If you even exist, show me that you exist. There's no such thing as the devil. Lucifer. Yeah, I'm commanding names now. I'm telling you who they are.
The black book.
Diablo. Yeah. Diablo. What's that stand for?
Don't antagonize. Don't antagonize.
Don't antagonise. Why should I? Come on, Elizabeth. You want to possess someone? Possess me. Stay away from Chelsea. Get bored now.
The Planquette didn't
You're
move
going to show
an
me that
inch.
you're here.
That was until Chelsea came onto the board.
E. M.
Oh, lemons. Is that your favourite
We
thing?
tried pretty much
Yeah, lemons.
everything to antagonize
And
everything.
you shouldn't really do this, but oh well.
Not me, that's sentimental to you.
Is there any demons there for me?
Or anyone.
No, demons. Just demons. I want demons come forward. All the demons. Zozo. I can't think of anything else, to be honest. Satan, Lucifer.
Bam.
All the, level 1, level 2, level 3 demons.
Horus.
All of them.
Blur.
I've done this for the
Let
last
me and
half an
my mum
hour.
do it.
I've done this for the last half an hour. I've
Yeah.
asked.
I bet it don't like you then. But yeah, they like you. You're fake.
Well, if it doesn't like me, then why doesn't it take my soul?
Because it don't want to.
But I'm
Because you're
asking you.
asking it to.
Well, guys, I hope that just proves something to you
That's right.
when it comes to demonic possessions. And the thing is I'll even stay live until later on, and I'll even sleep whilst I'm live. I don't give a shit, because I'm trying to tell people that demonic possession and demons are fake.
So Homeboy is really trying to prove a point there, isn't he? Antagonizing the spirits, even with the spirit box telling you don't antagonize. But did you notice that when Chelsea came to the board, it started moving? But it didn't with that guy. Who knows what portals and doorways has been opened upon him and his family. Hence, another way that generational curses happen is because of foolishness like that. Let me know your thoughts.
And this is why we don't keep random Ouija boards that we find. Apparently, this guy was just hanging out in a cemetery, I don't know why, and sees this Ouija board on the ground and decides, hey, let's touch that. And so he picks it up and he decides, you know what, I'm going to take this home. See, here he is. He has put it in a bag to take it home, but he's taking it out to show on the back. There's like a pentagram drawn on there with what looks like spray paint. I don't know. And it looks like there's a little blood on the front. But yeah, he takes this thing home. And here's night 1 after he takes the Ouija board home.
Escuchen. Esos son los sonidos que le hablé. Justo de madrugada, escuchen. Nadie me va a decir que esos son gatos. Escuchen. Son pasos. Son pasos. Ok.
Do we think this is an orb of whatever spirit is hanging around here, or do we think that this was just dust? Let me know what you think in the comments about this, but it keeps going. Hold on.
¿Quién anda ahí? Luz. Ok. La puerta abierta. ¡Hey! ¿Quién está ahí?
So what are your thoughts on that clip? Would you go to a cemetery and pick up a Ouija board that you just found laying there? Or can this be staged?
So the first internet post that really brought Zozo to light dates back to March 24th, 2009 on TrueGhostTales.com, a forum by Darren Wayne Evans. He uncovered an old Ouija board. He wanted to use it in order to contact the deceased lead singer of his favorite band, Bon Scott from AC/DC. He set the planchette down and began his session alone. After a half hour of no activity, the planchette finally began to shift ever so slightly. It slowly drifted towards the first letter, Z, and then to O, and then it moved faster back and forth, spelling out Zozo over and over again. So he moved the planchette to goodbye to try and end the session. But in a few last motions, the planchette frantically spelled out, "See you in hell." After Darren let go, the board then threw itself across the room. Ever since that initial session, Darren began experiencing intense nightmares. He'd wake up paralyzed and he couldn't move or speak, and he would hear the whispering of disembodied voices in his ears. Then he would hear random knocking on the walls and floors of his house during the day. On top of all of this, he felt he was constantly being watched no matter where he went. Even when alone, he felt the long stare of invisible eyes upon him.
About the Zozo and the Ouija board meaning and okay, listen, okay, Zozo is not Pizuzu, okay? Oh, well, how do I know? Well, just listen, right? Zozo is not Pizuzu. Zuzu is Pizuzu. Z-U-Z-U, or the two-letter combination of Z-U. You see that, most likely dealing with Pizuzu. Although, I do have to mention, when you are using a Ouija board, okay, I don't care how much of a main character you think you are, okay? You won't know what you're talking to. Now, there are, I guess, certain things you can do to have a better idea. But you still will have no clue what the fuck you're talking to. And if it's demons, in fact, that you're concerned that are communicating with you, then yeah, you really ain't gonna know. There's no way you're gonna find out, and there's nothing you can do to figure it out. No word, no charm, no talisman or incantation. And furthermore, none of that will help you either, if it is willing to pursue you. Zozo is Hamwawa. Now, who's Hamwawa? Well, first of all, let's figure out who Pizuzu is. Pizuzu is the Sumerian Mesopotamian god of pestilence and plague. He is also known for being assistants of those in birth, you know, women, not men. And so, but he also, you know, rides on the night sky and howls with rotten genitalia. He is the demon god of pest and plague. God, my phone is retarded. Not only that, he also is known as the plague of mankind, as in he is the plague that mankind is and issues forth. Oh, but what is that? Oh, do you think you know? Yeah, go ahead and tell me how you have, again, further main character syndrome. Nobody fucking knows what that is, and neither do you. Hamwawa is the angel of death, whose face is made up of a mass of beast-like entrails of mammals and other types of animals. You gaze into this angel's face, and one will surely see their end in future. Though, you must be careful not to breathe the horrid perfume of death, which is its breath that stinks like dung. So, in just summary, if you see the words Zozo, you're most likely dealing with the angel of death, Hamwawa. As it makes more sense, the angel of death is going to be around you than the demon god of pestilence, one of the oldest gods known in Mesopotamia, Pizuzu. Where Hamwawa is, Pizuzu is found. Where Pizuzu is, Hamwawa is found. And further on, be a clown or fuck around and find out. But don't be surprised.
Searching this one.
Find.
The 1973 American horror film was directed by William Friedkin, based on the novel of the same name by William Peter Blatty. Let's start with what, in my opinion, is the creepiest part about this whole thing. It's based on a true story. The novel is based on the 1949 exorcism of a young boy who goes by the pseudonym Ronald Doe. The story became national news and caught the attention of the author. There were many creepy occurrences that happened on set. Many people thought the set was haunted, especially when it burned to the ground. What's strange, however, is that the only room that didn't burn down is the demonic bedroom. Because of this, and to put the cast and crew somewhat at ease, they had a priest come in and bless the set. Must have been pretty spooky. A real-life serial killer is actually in the movie. Paul Bateson, a real-life X-ray technician, plays a radiologist's assistant in the movie. He was arrested for homicide in 1979 after meeting film critic Addison Verrill, having sex with him, and bashing his head in with a skillet. He also boasted about killing other men while awaiting trial. Even though they had a confession, they couldn't find much evidence. He was sentenced to 20 years for the murder of Addison Verrill and released in 2004. Out of all the pea soups Linda Blair preferred spitting up, Anderson's split pea was the winner. They tried Campbell's, but Anderson's, mixed with a little oatmeal, was the winner. Speaking of the pea soup scene, the director was known for using manipulative tactics to get authentic reactions from his actors. Miller was told the soup was going to hit him in the chest only. Well, it didn't, and they got a very authentic reaction. Unsurprisingly, they did this in one take. Continuing along the lines of the director wanting a very authentic reaction from his actors, they actually had this room freezing cold. So the breath is real. A lot of people thought this movie should have been rated X. So much so that even though it was rated R, you could be arrested for selling a ticket to a minor. No one under 17 was even allowed in the theater. Also, theaters were handing out barf bags. The Bellevue scene contains real patients, some of which were filmed with secret cameras. The moans and grunts were created remixing pig screams. And when she's finally exorcised, the sound you hear is pigs literally being led to slaughter. There's so much I didn't talk about. Should I do a part 2? Like and follow
Spirits by demons aren't afraid of sage. They're attracted to it. It's not protection, it's actually petition. You're not protecting yourself from unclean spirits by using sage or smudging the house. You're petitioning unclean spirits to you. It's like moths to a flame. Because see, you have to remember that the act of a burnt offering, it's biblical, right? It's God's principle. He created burnt offerings in the Old Testament as an atonement for our sin. And so the devil has hacked the burnt offering because it was originally a burnt sacrifice unto God, see, but the devil has perverted it through sins of divination and through worship of false gods to be a sacrifice to him and to demons. So the sage, this act of smudging, it is received as a sacrifice to unclean spirits. It attracts them to the space. It does not deter them from the space. It attracts them to the space. It does not protect you in the space. It petitions them to the space.
How many of you know what spectrophilia is? Otherwise known as sex demons, such as the incubus and succubus. Now, I'm about to show you some clips that are really disturbing. And as always, it's up to you to determine what is fact and what is fiction. Also, the links for all these creators are in the description. In all my videos, the links for the original creators are in the description. All right, check them out. Cool.
When you're having sex in a dream, it could be two possibilities. One, it's an actual demon that is having sex with you. That's especially true when you're having a spiritual vision rather than a dream. When it's an actual demon versus your mind missing sex, you will feel clear physical sensations in your body because sex is really taking place. Whereas if it's just your mind that's missing it, you will likely not feel any physical sensations in your body. If you are prophetic or an empath, highly sensitive person, you can actually tell whether it was a spiritual vision or whether it was just a dream. Typically, spiritual visions and spiritual encounters during dreams are very, very vivid, and you can feel physical sensations. Your spirit just knows that something happened. The second possibility is that it is just your mind replaying things that happened or apprehending something in the future, or like this person mentioned, that you haven't had sex in a long time and your brain misses it. And when it's just your mind, it's not vivid and you can easily forget about it as soon as you wake up. Whereas when it was a spiritual encounter, you know something happened and you clearly remember it. It feels completely different than just a dream from the mind. In Christianity, we know that dreams come from three sources. They're either from God, from the enemy, or from your mind simply. I hope this is more clear now, and follow for more.
A succubus, deeply rooted in mythology and folklore, is a female demon or supernatural entity known for seducing and captivating individuals, often men, through her alluring beauty and charm. Originating from ancient legends, the succubus is believed to enter dreams and engage in intimate relations, draining the life force or essence of her victims. With origins intertwined with medieval beliefs about demons and the spiritual realm, the succubus embodies both desire and danger, representing the allure of forbidden temptations and the consequences of yielding to dark temptations. Throughout history, tales of encounters with succubi have served as cautionary tales, warning of the perils of succumbing to seductive powers that conceal malevolent intent. Today, the concept of the succubus continues to captivate imaginations, evolving through literature, art, and popular culture, where she remains a potent symbol of temptation, mystery, and the eternal struggle between desire and peril.
And its sacred mysteries. I call you forth on this night to summon a succubus. I ask that you search your mighty legions for a spirit that will be a perfect fit for him, and that the spirit will be perfect in what he is seeking. I also ask, mighty King Asodius, that you keep order over this spirit from your legions, and that if this individual ever decides that he wishes to depart from her, that you shall be the overseer of the spirit companion and this individual, so their parting will be peaceful and complete, with uttermost respect to the forces of creation beyond our comprehension and your legacy. I now ask, Asodius, that you guide my hand. Asodius, reveal the details to me of the chosen succubus, that the information may flow through me clearly without any ambiguity or distortions, to provide all that is necessary in forging this spiritual union. Spirit, guide my hand, and may my heart be true.
That's a perfect example how black magic is used against people. You know, sometimes these things that come upon us, these demonic entities, are done through generational curses placed on our families, our forefathers, and it affects us. So we have to keep fighting, right? Now we're about to dive into spiritual warfare and deals with the devil and how to make deals with demons. This is for spiritual education only. I do not recommend that anyone try any of these acts. It's very, very dangerous. We're about to dive into empaths, so stay with me. All right, let's go.
There was this girl who went to Juilliard. She was a violinist, and she started failing her classes and couldn't get any gigs. So she started to say, to her friends, I would do anything to be famous and get gigs. But she didn't realize who was listening. It wasn't just her friends, but also the devil. Now, she goes to bed one night and she has this really vivid dream. There's this beautiful man. He comes in her room and he's naked. And he says, I will give you fame and fortune. All you have to do is give me your soul. And she goes, yeah, sure, I'll do that. And so all of a sudden this contract appears right before her. And he says, let me see your hand. And he cuts her finger and says, sign this contract with your blood. So she signs the contract. And all of a sudden the contract, he picks it up and puts it in his hand. And it turns to flames. And then falls on the floor as a bunch of ashes. So she wakes up and she's, a little bothered by the dream, but thinks it's just a dream, until she looks at her finger. There's a cut, and on the floor is a pile of ashes. So fast forward several years, she becomes famous and starts traveling all over the world and lands all these huge gigs. But then she starts getting involved in partying, and she contracts AIDS. Now, she ends up to the point where she's on her last journey of life, and she's in the hospital, and she's talking to her mother, who's Filipino, and she tells her this story about the dream she had. And instantly her mother says, we need to talk to a priest. We need to call a priest. So she calls up a priest and talks to the priest, and he says, I will come there right away and speak with your daughter. So the priest comes, and he comes in the hospital room, and he says, you made a blood pact with the devil, and in order to break that, you have to make a blood pact with God. So you need to sign this creed with your blood. And the doctor overhears this, is like, no, she can't do that. She has AIDS. And he goes, she has to do this. You can leave the room, but she has to do this. So he, cuts her finger and has her sign the creed. And instantly she flatlines. And the doctor comes running in, and, he's angry with the priest. The mother's angry. And about 15 minutes had passed, and she gets up out of the bed, and she's fine. They run a bunch of tests. She has no AIDS, no HIV. She's completely clean, and she goes on to live a normal life.
And know how to make a deal with a demon.
He was obsessed with this demonic spirit called Pizuzu. He changed his name. I believe he's from Seattle. He ended up recruiting a whole bunch of teenagers and kids to pretty much join his cult. Okay. Perform humans and cannibalism with the neighbors in their neighborhood. He would bury the bodies in his mother's backyard. He got caught and went to jail. But what happened next time? When he was in jail, he kept begging the warden, like, I have to make a sacrifice to Pizuzu because it's a certain day, the moon is out. I have to do a sacrifice or he's gonna come out to get me.
Yeah, but he's in jail.
The warden's like, are you crazy? Like, no, we can't do that.
Yeah.
He's like, no, like, even if it's like a little bird, a little creature, like, just please let me do it. I'm gonna, that's what he said. Yo, they didn't allow him, right? At 3 a.m. the same day.
Oh, he took his...
No.
What?
They found his body with scratches, huge scratches that open into his intestines. His body just, they don't understand how he would have.
Also, he's...
Yes, fam. They found his body. This is a true story. Like, you can Google it.
That's a real
spirit, fam.
Pizuzu is a real spirit.
If you do research, it's linked back to
the crazy man pictured right here sacrificed his parents to Satan and carved an upside-down cross onto his body. Let's talk about Jeffrey Franklin and his disturbing case. Leading up to the murders, he actually detailed what he was going to do in drawings, and it looked very violent and disturbing. He also wrote a note hailing Satan and that he would sacrifice his mother and sister to his lord. A neighbor saw Jeffrey leaving the home covered in blood and was quick to call the police. The police were chasing him, and he ended up back in a yard close to his family's home. When they arrested him, they said it looked like he hadn't been sleeping for several days. He was shirtless, they saw the upside-down cross carved into his torso, and he had this crazy look on his face, pictured right here. In this picture, he was also in the back of the police cruiser. This is right after they apprehended him. These occult crimes always give me chills because these people are so unhinged and crazy. Going more into the details of his crime, he used a hatchet and a sledgehammer. He murdered both of his parents and critically injured 3 of his siblings. He is currently serving 5 life sentences for his crime, and he blames his crimes on heavy metal music. There is no scientific evidence to back that heavy metal music causes behavior. He's just using that as a scapegoat. Let me know what you guys think about Jeffrey Franklin's case in the comment section below.
Believer Chris McNeil clearly believes that the demon possessing the 2 girls is Pizuzu, the same demon that possessed her daughter, but the end credits show that it's actually a demon called Lamashtu, a Mesopotamian demon known for preying on pregnant women. Here's what's cool. Lamashtu and Pizuzu are actually sworn enemies, and Pizuzu can be called upon to protect against Lamashtu. So what are they going to do with that?
I read all of your comments. And some of you have been going through some spiritual battles as of late, especially those who are pregnant. Lamashtu, start praying against that demon and call that out by name. In the name of Jesus, Lamashtu against these pregnant women will have no effect because Jesus has your back. And the reason why you're going through this is because of your empath. Now, many of you in this community are empaths, super empaths, and hierarchy. Hierarchy is the highest level of empath. It's like a Jedi, so to speak. These next series of clips is going to help you understand why you have been attacked your whole life and why narcissists are attracted to you. All right, let's go.
Demons attack empaths, leaving them tricked into thinking that their spiritual gift is a spiritual curse. The first demon is Leviathan. This is often associated with chaos, pride, and confusion. Leviathan is said to cloud perceptions, making empaths doubt their intuition and second-guess their feelings. By creating inner turmoil, Leviathan pulls empaths away from clarity, leaving them stuck in cycles of hesitation and uncertainty. The second demon is Delilah, representing manipulation and deceit. Delilah works to undermine an empath's trust in their own judgment. Through subtle coercion and emotional traps, this spirit can lead empaths to give their personal power and boundaries, often leaving them drained and unsure of direction. The final demon is Jezebel, known for control and domination. Jezebel seeks to suppress the empath's natural gift of compassion and connection. By introducing fear of rejection or a need for approval, this spirit encourages empaths to prioritize pleasing others over staying true to themselves, ultimately disrupting their ability to grow and thrive in their spiritual journey. This is occurring far too often with empaths all over the world. And if this resonated with you, let me know down in the comment section. If you are an empath overwhelmed, put 2 hearts in the comment section and let me know where is the most part that is the hardest for you to manage. But this is exactly why I created the Imagination mini course for empaths, and it's linked in the bio. This mini course that will help you master your imagination so that you can create situations so that you can battle against these demons. These demons are mostly inside of your mind. They get into your mind, and this is a major battleground for empaths all over the world. And if you don't believe me, how much are you overwhelmed now? And how much is therapy actually working? Oh, it's not. So, if you didn't know, now you know.
Have you ever heard of a demonic drive-by? It's exactly what it sounds like. Demons trying to drive by, shoot a bullet at you. Here is your battleground, in between your ears. This is where spiritual warfare mainly happens. The enemy, the devils, will try to come and shoot little thoughts to see if you are affected by them or if you will come into agreement with them. Now, psychology would call this an intrusive thought, and people just accept that this is the way it is. No. We're called as Christians to take our thoughts captive. Last night, in the middle of the night, I woke up, just half awake, half asleep, and you know what thought crossed my mind? Is God even real? I was like, what? I was like, that is not my thought. I don't even think like that. Of course God is real. Hello, my testimony, But the enemy tries to come at us when we are weak, when we are tired, when we are vulnerable. I would also say hungry, angry, lonely, tired, halt, that analogy if you haven't heard of that. I'm sorry, acronym. Now, just like in the wild, a predator seeks its prey, the ones that are on the, first of all, outside of the pack, okay? Second of all, the young. Third of all, the weak. So if one has been injured. Now, if you're going through a season where a lot of things are happening to you, you are in a vulnerable place. We always need to be putting on the armor of God daily. Not figuratively either, you guys. If you are a prayer warrior, if you are an intercessor, especially, but period point blank, if you are a Christian, you pray for the belt of truth buckled around your waist, the breastplate of righteousness in place, and your feet fitted with the readiness that comes from the gospel peace. And with that, you take up the shield of faith, which extinguishes all the flaming arrows of the evil one, putting on the helmet of salvation and taking up the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God, and praying on all occasions. We are to do this every day. You should be putting on the armor of God every single day. I pray the blood of Jesus over myself every single day, over my son, over everything. I say the armor of God every single day. Okay? We are in a spiritual battle. We need to make sure that we are guarded. Okay? So if you're getting demonic drive-bys, don't let the bullet land. You got the shield of faith, my bros. You got the whole armor of God on you. We need to be aware because the devil prowls around like a roaring lion. He's not a roaring lion, but he prowls around like one, but he's a kitten in the corner of the room with a microphone, okay? And so, rise up, Christians. Put on the armor and just ignore those devils. Take those thoughts captive. You a child of God. Love ya!
Demon. I get this question a lot, and most people don't even know how low vibrational beings work. And most people don't even believe in this stuff, which is why they end up falling prey to it and then believe after. Let me start by saying my family has experienced beings like this multiple times, with one that liked to tickle my feet and hide in my closet to try and scare me. To this day, I hate when people tickle my feet. Many people are scared to astral project for this exact reason and end up attracting these beings anyways. Let's get into it. Yes, demons, vampires, and shadow people do exist, just like how angels, spirit guides, and fairies exist. But the likelihood you'll pass by one in the physical or astral realm is slim to none. If you are constantly in a low vibration, stuck in a state of fear and darkness, or you're a child, they love that. They feed on this, which is why they prey on your weaknesses and try and drag you into a lower vibration. They usually only go for people that don't know their power yet. This explains why people get negative entities attaching to them in the physical, but for this to happen, you have to be a huge source of negative energy. So, how do you get rid of them? Master your own energy and know your power. Remember, in the physical, you can't see them, but you could feel their presence. But when you astral project, you're on the same realm as them. If you keep your vibration high and know your power, they hate that joint. Literally, when you see one or feel its presence, fill yourself with love and light and cast it right at them. Bruh, they will bounce and run for their lives. Do this once and they'll never bother you again. If you are scared of seeing a negative being, you're giving them exactly what they want. They'll take any form and do anything possible to lower your vibration or dim your light. Become a loving, joyful, and powerful being overall, and these things will leave you alone for good. Literally, you'll be on such a high frequency that they won't even be able to reach you because you'll be on a whole different vibration as a whole. This is like changing a radio channel. You will be so connected to the universe, so high vibrational and powerful, that when you astral project, instead of seeing low vibrational beings, you'll be greeted by high vibrational beings. Not even to hype you up, but you will probably be greeted by your spirit guides, angels, fairies, even other beings out there. They will want to interact with you because you're on the same frequency. Overall, understand this. Fear makes us stronger as we learn lessons from it. Become so powerful and so connected to the universe that these beings fear you. Know who you are. They hate that joint.
The demons that attack empaths, why they fear you. Empaths are not weak. Empaths are not fragile. They are targets. Because an empath isn't just a person who feels deeply, they are a beacon, a source of light, a force that disrupts darkness wherever it hides. And that is why they are hunted. There are things in this world that feed on pain, fear, and suffering. And empaths, they are the ones who can see through the illusion, break the cycle, and expose the hidden. So the attacks begin. Not always physical, but mental, emotional, spiritual. Because breaking an empath isn't just about stopping one person. It's about shutting down the signal they carry. They are beacons of truth. They are the ones who see past deception, who absorb energy, who disrupt the hidden forces that feed on suffering. There are entities that feed on fear, on manipulation, on the distortion of reality itself, and they seek to silence, drain, and break empaths, because an empowered empath is their greatest threat. These demons attack in different ways, through confusion, heaviness, control. and they always leave destruction in their wake. What are these demons? Demons aren't always red-skinned creatures with horns. They are parasites, they are manipulators. They are the shadows that latch onto energy and twist it for their own use. And empaths are like bright flames in a world full of darkness. They can sense lies, they can feel when something is wrong, they can expose what is hidden, and that is why these entities seek to break them. Have you ever felt exhausted after being around certain people? Do you notice that some people always leave you feeling drained, hollow, or confused? Have you experienced mood swings, sudden fatigue, or overwhelming negativity for no reason? So this isn't just emotional exhaustion, it is an attack. Demons and energy parasites cannot generate their own energy, they must steal it. And an empath. An empath is an open well of energy, constantly pouring into the world. So they attach, they feed, they twist your light into their nourishment. And if you don't cut them off, they will consume everything you are. Means the astral attacks. Empaths often report nightmares that feel too real. Waking up drained as if they fought all night. Sleep paralysis, shadow figures, whispers in the dark. This is because the battle isn't just happening in this world. It's happening in the spaces in between, where the subconscious is vulnerable, where the mind is open, where defenses are down. Some believe these dreams aren't just random thoughts, but spiritual attacks designed to break an empath's will while they sleep. And if you wake up feeling like something was there, like something tried to get inside your head, you're probably right. There is a reason empaths always attract narcissists. Because narcissists are puppets, empty vessels that spread chaos, destruction, and deception. They mirror an empath's light, pretending to be kind, loving, and in need. They embed themselves in an empath's life, slowly shifting the balance of power. They use guilt, fear, and love as weapons, ensuring the empath keeps pouring energy into them. And before you know it, the empath is trapped, drained. And the demon, it thrives, because it has turned the empath's greatest strength into a weapon against themselves. Why demons target empaths? Because empaths carry the energy of change. Because empaths can sense them even if they can't see them. Because empaths are healers, and demons want wounds to remain open. Empaths are not meant to be weak, they are meant to be warriors. But warriors can be broken, and that's what these forces want more than anything, not to kill the empath, but to break their spirit. To make them question their intuition, to make them shut down their gifts, to make them believe their abilities are a curse, rather than a force of power. Because when an empath fully awakens, nothing can stop them. How to fight back, recognize the attachments. If someone drains you, cut them off. If you always feel worse after being around certain people, trust that feeling. If your energy shifts suddenly, look for the source. These entities hide in plain sight, in the people we trust, the emotions we ignore, the voices we dismiss. The first step is to see them for what they are. Protect your energy. Empaths must learn to shield themselves, because if you leave your door open, something will walk through it. Salt, sage, and protective symbols have been used for centuries for a reason. Visualizing a protective light around you can create an energetic barrier. Sound like chimes, bells, or certain frequencies can disrupt negative energy. Empaths think their power is just feeling deeply, but true power is knowing how to control that energy, how to direct it, how to protect it. Strengthen your will. Demons thrive on doubt. They attack through fear. They win when you question your own intuition. Your mind is a fortress. If you let them inside, they will take everything. If you refuse to let them in, they cannot touch you. Belasup, the demon of confusion. Belasup is a parasite of the mind. He does not strike directly. Instead, he whispers, distorts, twists reality, making empaths question what is real and what is illusion. How he attacks empaths. An overwhelming mental fog, sudden confusion like something is pulling your thoughts apart. Doubt and self-sabotage, the feeling that I must be overreacting even when your intuition is correct. Emotional disorientation. One moment clear-headed, the next drowning in chaotic, conflicting emotions. Empaths thrive on clarity, intuition, deep knowing. Belasup seeks to shatter that, because once an empath questions their own gift, they stop trusting it. And once they stop trusting it, they become vulnerable. Belphegor is the demon of spiritual exhaustion. He is not loud, not violent, not obvious. Instead, he sinks into the bones, pressing down like an unbearable weight. How he attacks empaths. Sudden, unexplained exhaustion, even after a full night's sleep. The body feels like it's drowning in lead. Lack of motivation, goals, passions, even basic daily tasks feel impossible. Feeling disconnected from spirit, as if something cut the cord between you and your higher self. Belphegor doesn't destroy empaths, he drains them, until they no longer have the energy to fight back. Until they stop trying, stop resisting, stop believing. Because an empath that is too tired to fight is no longer a threat. Jezebel, the demon of manipulation and control. If Beelzebub confuses and Belphegor weakens, Jezebel enslaves. Jezebel is not just a demon, it is a system, a force that moves through people, twisting them into weapons. How she attacks empaths. Narcissists and energy vampires, Jezebel manipulates people to use, abuse, and drain empaths. Emotional traps, guilt, shame, obligation, all used to bind an empath to toxic relationships. Illusions of love and loyalty, whispering that you have to help them, you can't abandon them, even when it's destroying you. Jezebel thrives on power. And what better way to gain power than to bind an empath's light to darkness? She makes them believe they need to suffer to be good, they must sacrifice themselves for others, their pain is necessary to help those who need them. Jezebel's greatest weapon is convincing an empath that they must stay enslaved to pain. But once an empath wakes up, sees the manipulation, breaks free, Jezebel loses her grip. Belial attacks the mind, confusion weakens intuition, Belphegor attacks the body, exhaustion stops action. Jezebel attacks the soul, manipulation keeps the empath bound. If these forces can break an empath, they break the biggest threat to their existence. Because an empath is not just someone who feels deeply. They are a healer, a disruptor, a mirror that exposes darkness. And darkness cannot survive being seen. If your mind is full of doubt, intrusive thoughts, mental chaos, it is Belial. If you're drowning in exhaustion, hopelessness, and stagnation, it is Belphegor. If you feel trapped, controlled, manipulated, it is Jezebel. Calling them by name removes their power. They thrive in secrecy, in silence. But once you identify them, the illusion weakens. Recognize the attachments? If someone drains you, cut them off. If you always feel worse after being around certain people, trust that feeling. If your energy shifts suddenly, look for the source. These entities hide in plain sight, in the people we trust, the emotions we ignore, the voices we dismiss. The first step is to see them for what they are. Cleanse and protect your energy. Empaths must learn to shield themselves. Because if you leave your door open, something will walk through it. Salt, sage, and protective symbols have been used for centuries for a reason. They work because they disrupt dark attachments. Visualizing a protective light around you can create an energetic barrier. Sound like chimes, bells, or certain frequencies can disrupt negative energy. Empaths think their power is just feeling deeply, but true power is knowing how to control that energy, how to direct it, how to protect it. Cut off toxic people, block them, walk away. If Jezebel cannot feed off you, she loses power. Move, dance, exercise, sunlight. Belphegor's heaviness cannot survive movement and vitality. Strengthen your will. Demons thrive on doubt. They attack through fear. They win when you question your own intuition. Your mind is a fortress. If you let them inside, they will take everything. If you refuse to let them in, they cannot touch you. The final truth, empaths were never meant to be victims. They were meant to be the ones who see through the lies, the ones who break the cycles, the ones who wake others up. And that is why they are hunted. Because a fully awakened empath is a threat to everything darkness feeds on. So if they come for you, fight back. Protect your light. Because the only thing demons fear more than the dark is the one who can see through it.
She dropped a lot of gems there. But one thing I disagree with is the practice of sage. I know a lot of people believe that sage is good. To each their own. I believe in my faith that Jesus was the atonement and sacrifices are no longer needed or these practices. We just have to call on his name. The Holy Spirit is our guide, our protector. But again, to each their own. All right, let's keep diving.
5 signs you have dealt with someone who had a Jezebel spirit. Now, the Jezebel spirit is one of the most destructive spirits in the Bible. It'll turn kings into poor men, and it will turn great women into beggars. Women who are Jezebels are very beautiful on the outside. Now, when men are Jezebels, they make you think that they have it all figured out to lure you in. The Jezebel spirit operates on a very insane level of deception. They don't love. They sit back and study you. They study you before they even approach you. They sit back and watch what matters to you the most, your faith, your purpose, your life. Then they capitalize on that and pretend like they're aligned on the same mission as you are. And oftentimes they seem like they're sent from God. So perfect in everything they do and how they approach you at first, until their true colors show. But by that time, you have already fallen so deep for this person, or at least what you'd hoped they were, to the point where now they have you under their control, under their manipulation. And you pour every single ounce of effort to your heart, your mind, and your soul, only to find out that their actions don't align with anything that you thought they were. They'll even cry and seem remorseful when you catch them in their lies, but they're not crying because they actually feel bad. They're crying because they got caught. You see here, a Jezebel doesn't truly care like you think they do. They are masked so well by the enemy just for you. And sometimes they show you that they are not here for any benefits. So you're there thinking that this person is actually genuinely loving you. And when you find out the truth, it crushes you. You ask yourself, how? Why? But just know the enemy will perfect the plan to make you fall on this path to God. Jezebels can be so beautiful and so well put together. They can really make you think that they're the final piece to your puzzle. But their beauty is only a cover-up for their deep insecurities. You see here, a Jezebel spirit operates on validation. And you will realize that this person, over time, will seek validation not from you alone, but from other people as well. To the point where even if you catch them in their lies, you might be the one blamed for it somehow. This person walks with such an empty soul in them that they have to suck the energy out of every single person around them. Always pray that God shows you who people's true intentions are before you get serious with them.
Jezebel is attracted to power. She'll give you half of it. She won't give you all of it. You have to know that when the Spirit of the Lord shows up, there is complete freedom. There's not half freedom. When the Spirit of the Lord shows up, there's love, peace, gentleness, kindness, patience, self-control. There's not just love and gentleness. When the fruit of Jezebel shows up, you will be tilted in your motivations to protect yourself and to get power. The fruit of the Holy Spirit never drives you to get power or protect yourself, ever. That's not the fruit of the Spirit. She gets in by open doors. They're usually tied to your childhood. So betrayal, abuse, loss, pain, trauma. You see this in politics. People are accusing other people of things that they have literally done for their entire lives. She accuses you of what she's doing. So you start calling out other people for the behavior that you're actually wrestling with yourself. And that's a Jezebel trick.
This has been a long one so far, hasn't it? If you're still here, type HFC. We're about an hour and a half in, and I still have more to show you. This video probably won't get pushed in the algorithm for some reason, not for some reason. Every time I make a video, against the demons and spirits, it doesn't get shown, but it's all right. I felt in my heart that I had to do this video to bring this to your light for those who have been struggling, battling, and have no idea why they're going through what they're going through. We're in a spiritual warfare, and we as warriors, as lions, lionesses, need to stand up and fight and not fear. Alright, now we're about to dive into hell. The kings, the queens, and the princes of hell, their names, and their personalities. The reason why I believe it's important to know these names is because when you're praying, you pray against them. Call out those names that you're praying against. Demons hate that. They hate when you're self-aware, especially if you're an empath, super empath, or a Jedi empath, hierarchy. Alright, let's go into hell.
Did you know there's a demon that even Lucifer was afraid of? His name is Astaroth. This guy was once a throne angel, basically really high up in the ranks of heaven. Just like Lucifer, he fell during the rebellion. But here's the twist. While Lucifer became the face of evil, Astaroth took a different path, a smarter one. Instead of waging war, Astaroth became a master of knowledge, forbidden knowledge. He's often described as a demon who knows the secrets of the past, present, and even the future. He doesn't fight with fire and swords, he fights with ideas. In the ancient grimoire of Pope Honorius, Astaroth is called a Grand Duke of Hell. He's said to rule over 40 legions of demons. Kings, popes, and even other demons would come to him for advice. And when summoned, he reveals deep secrets of the universe, but always at a price. People would go mad after speaking with him too long. In some texts, Lucifer is shown avoiding direct conflict with Astaroth. Why? Because Astaroth isn't reckless, he's calculated. While Lucifer represents rebellion, Astaroth represents corruption.
Did you know there is a demon who seduced angels, corrupted mortals, and is responsible for one of the deadliest sins? This is Azazel, and his sin is wrath. In ancient tradition, Azazel was the angel who rebelled against heaven itself. He not only defied God, he taught humans to forge weapons, spreading violence and war among mankind. His very essence is pure wrath, a hatred that burns like an eternal fire. But don't be mistaken, Azazel is not just a legend forgotten in the pages of ancient texts. His spirit of destruction lives in every act of violence, in every outburst of uncontrollable rage. He is the demon who whispers in your ear when you're on the verge of losing control. Azazel doesn't just teach wrath, he feeds on it. For every soul that succumbs to hatred, he grows stronger. And they say that on Judgment Day, he will return to lead the legions of hell, setting the world ablaze with the fury of the damned.
Asmodeus. How to call upon Asmodeus, demon of desire.
These are imps, the lowest form of physical demonic beings that can be summoned onto our plane. They usually serve as minions to powerful warlocks, other demons, or any kind of being or creature that can control these kind of dark forces. They are similar to the hobgoblins, except that these things are never helpful and are always malicious from the word go. There is no dealing with them. There is no winning them over unless you are the one who has summoned them and holds will control over them. And this is the type of person that would summon them. This was originally a human. I've already talked about this, but I'll say it again. This was some kind of occult sorcerer that after decades of service to dark entities and practice of occult magic, transformed himself into a demon in their service and basically gained a form of immortality that, comes with a very steep price. I'm sure you can imagine what that might be. This next one, another that I've already shown, is the offspring of man and demon, a hybrid of various types of demonic creatures, usually with human females, but not exclusively. You might think of this as the Nephilim, a Cambion. There's many names. You can see that it has what looks like a hoofed foot, it has horns, it's very large, and it was the most feared creature in the keep, and very likely behind its downfall. And here is what its non-human parent might look like. A summoned physical demon, much more powerful than an imp. To hold will over this would require immense knowledge and power of occult. You can see those symbols painted on the wall, I believe, are paramount in them holding this creature, because unlike some of the other photos, it does not appear to be chained. I imagine that whatever those symbols are hold it in place, but this is a summoned physical demon.
Belial is one of the 9 demonic kings and the demonic gatekeeper of the infernal realms. Belial is known as the one who refuses to bow to any man, master, or god, making him the demonic personification of independence and self-sufficiency. He has many titles and different names, which can be worked with and viewed as aspects of the same spirit or even separate. He's known to rule 80 legions of demons and 50 legions of spirits in the Goetia. Alan Smith portrays Belial as a triple god, a part of a special trinity, along with Lucifer and Hecate. Belial is the epitome of lawlessness. Ergo, many in today's modern society call upon him to fight against the tyrannical system of so-called justice. Belial is a very vast demon, just like Lucifer, and this is only part 1 of the Belial series.
Have you ever heard of the urban legend, the Jinn? Jinn are supernatural beings deeply rooted in Middle Eastern folklore and Islamic mythology. They are often depicted as invisible entities made of smokeless fire and possess free will. According to Islamic beliefs, Jinn are one of the creations of Allah alongside humans and angels. Jinn are believed to inhabit a parallel world that coexists with our own, often referred to as the Jinn realm. They have the ability to interact with humans and can influence their lives. Jinn are described as shapeshifters, capable of taking various forms such as animals, humans, or even inanimate objects. They possess immense power and possess both good and evil intentions. The relationship between humans and Jinn can vary. Some Jinn are benevolent and may assist humans by granting wishes or providing guidance. These jinn are often referred to as marit and are considered the most powerful type of jinn. However, even when granting wishes, jinn can be mischievous and may twist the wish to their advantage. On the other hand, some jinn are malevolent and may cause harm or mischief. These jinn are often associated with haunted places, possession, and black magic. They are believed to be attracted to areas with negative energy, such as abandoned buildings, graveyards, or desolate locations. In Middle Eastern cultures, precautions are taken to protect oneself from malevolent jinn. These may include reciting specific prayers, wearing protective talismans, or performing rituals to ward off evil spirits.
What are the benefits to working magically with demons? A lot of people think that working with demons will give them great fortune and power. Remember the movie Hereditary? In the movie, King Paimon, who is one of the 72 demons of the Lesser Key of Solomon, also known as the Megaton, was conjured. This would be their seal. And yes, I have worked with Paimon. Did it look like this? No, of course not. And I certainly did not end up like this. Poor guy. For me, working with demons is for two main things: getting laid and getting paid. For me, demons are ideal when I want fast results that don't have to be permanent. If I need some quick cash, come on, Bune.
In ancient, did you know that Lilith is considered by many to be the queen of hell? Let me explain. In ancient Jewish folklore, Lilith was created alongside Adam from clay to be the first human. Being made from the same clay as Adam, she considered herself to be equal to Adam. So when she was told to bow before Adam or be exiled from heaven, she chose the latter and left heaven. To bring her back to heaven, God sent angels to persuade her, but she refused, after which she became known as a demon. Lilith then began tempting other angels, including the archangel of sins and death, Samael. After the fall of Samael, Lilith became the ruling queen of hell, where she still resides to this day.
Break the chains and be beautiful in sin.
Demons. You see, many people are afraid of demonic spirits. But did you know demons are terrified of hell? You see, many people think hell is a party. Many people think hell will be fun. But demons have a very different view about hell. They know it's a place of torture. Just before Jesus cast demons out of a man, Matthew 8:29 says they screamed at him, "Why are you interfering with the Son of God? Have you come here to torture us before God's appointed time?" There happened to be a large herd of pigs feeding in the distance, so the demons begged, "If you cast us out, send us into that herd of pigs." Demons know the truth about hell. And the devil deceived many people into thinking that it's a place of fun. But Jesus came to show us that through his death on the cross, that we have power over demonic spirits. Demons know their time is short. Jesus is soon to return. Comment below, I've got the power in Christ. Like, follow, subscribe for more.
You can't sell your soul. You know why you can't sell your soul?
It doesn't belong.
You don't own it. He'll trick you into thinking that, and then that puts the person in despair. One of the worst cases I've ever heard was from the Exorcist of New York City back about 15 years ago. There was a woman, a young girl at Juilliard, a violinist, and she was about to graduate. She was brilliantly talented, but all of her friends were getting job offers and she had none. And her friends remember always hearing her say the words, "I would do anything to be famous." Well, guess who's listening? Your angel's listening, but also there's other things in the room. And it wasn't long after that that she went to bed one night, had a dream, and she said in the dream was the most beautiful man she'd ever seen naked, another sign, calling card of the devil. And he said, "Do you really want fame and power?" She said, "I do." And he produced a contract, and he took his finger and slashed her finger and had her sign it in her blood. And then he touched the contract and it burst into flames. When you wake up from that dream and you remember it, you might take a pause and be like, I don't think that was a good thing. But what's worse is her finger was cut and the ashes were next to the bed. She still doesn't say anything. So within a couple of weeks, she signs this multinational tour, makes a ton of money, becomes very popular and famous on this circuit. And within a few years, she gets involved with drugs, goes to needles, gets HIV. Now she's dying in a New York hospital. And this whole thing comes back to how this started. And she calls her Filipino mother and tells her the story. And mommy calls the chancery, hysterical. I need an exorcist right away for my daughter. They tell him the whole story from the dream forward, and he says, okay, well, that's not good. You signed a blood covenant with the devil. So I'm going to need you to break that with a blood covenant. So you're going to write out the whole creed, and then you're going to sign it in your blood. Well, the doctor's like, she has AIDS. She's not signing anything in blood. Not going to happen. And he says, well, then you need to step out of the room because she needs to do this. And she did do it, and she signed the contract, the creed, and she convulses and flatlines and dies. So now the doctor comes back and he's really upset. The mother is out of her mind. They're all blaming the priest. Hysteria goes on for about 10 minutes. And then all of a sudden she jumps up off the table. She's back and they test her. No HIV, no AIDS. She's completely
What
healed.
demons? People think demons fear crystals, gargoyles on the rooftops of buildings, burning sage. But here is what demons really fear. The Bible says in Matthew 8:28 through 29, when he arrived at the other side of the region of Gennesaret, 2 demon-possessed men coming from the tombs met him. They were so violent that no one could pass that way. What do you want of us, Son of God? They shouted. Have you come to torture us before the appointed time? No, not burning sage or crystals. Demons tremble at the name of Jesus. If you believe every knee will bow, type Jesus in the comments and follow or subscribe.
But did you know that the largest army in the world will be led by 4 fallen angels? It might sound like a scene from an apocalyptic movie, but this is a chilling truth found in the Bible. The largest army in the world won't be led by humans, but by 4 fallen angels who will play a major role in the end times. The Bible tells us that these 4 fallen angels are currently bound at the Euphrates River, awaiting their release at a specific time. When that moment comes, they will lead an army of 200 million soldiers, the largest army in history, across the earth, bringing destruction and chaos. Why these 4 angels? It's because of their role in God's judgment during the end times. Their release marks a moment when the world will face the full force of the spiritual battle that has been unfolding since the beginning of time. These angels, once a part of God's heavenly army, fell due to their rebellion and now stand as instruments of judgment, prepared to lead an army that will cause terror and devastation. But here's the truth. While these fallen angels may seem invincible, God is still in control. His plan for the world and for his people cannot be stopped. The release of these angels and their army will serve as a final call for humanity to repent and turn back to God. Do you understand the power behind these angels and the army they lead? Type Amen if you believe that God's power will ultimately triumph over evil, and share this to warn others about what's to come.
There was a lot we covered here today, right? This is the longest video I have done for you, but I had to get this video out. I really believe that this video needed to be out there for someone, even if it's just one person. It's fine. I've taken you through hell. I've taken you through some scary moments. Now, let's end this segment off with a high. Let's go.
It is bedtime. Let's go.
Kai. Come.
Oakley, come here. Come here.
No bite.
Get out. Whoa.
Yo, Rocky and Bullwinkle used to howl like that all the time. I miss them so much. And I need to teach Pearl how to play those keys over there. You know, bring her on the channel. All right, HFC signing out. Peace!